Great sex to me is when the experience is so memorable and so enticing that you can be not with her at any given time. You could be on a train or on a plane or somewhere and just think about that experience, and it can get you to damn near come.
Good sex is when time collapses, when you're just in a different world.
It's having that connection, knowing that the only focus on the other person's mind is me and them in this moment.
An explosive reaction of all senses. I want to please you and really take my time and take your time to please me.
Foreplay. Don't skip the foreplay. That's a big requirement. It's like any art. The drama is necessary. So, yeah. And oh, toys are welcome.
Oh, hey there, lovers and friends. This video is sponsored by Lovers, who is now my friend, because this is part 2 in a collaboration series that I'm doing with them. First up, we did women, and today we are doing cisgendered men. Lovers is the perfect partner for this because for nearly 40 years, they have been working to empower and inspire people into having incredible sexual experiences on their terms. Now, they are an adult store that has a range of products that I'm going to read off because it's lengthy. Condoms, lubricants, lingerie, hosiery, dildos, vibrators, anal stimulators, massagers, masturbators, penis rings, penis pumps, strap-ons, gender affirmation products, sex swings, and other furniture, a range of kink products, massage oils, CBD, books, games, and here's the kicker, and even more than that. So if you guys are interested in learning more about them and you already know what you want to get, go into the info box right now to redeem a 20% offer just specially from me to you. But if you need some inspiration and you came here for some education, you've come to the right place. These men got raw, got real, and I was really inspired by their vulnerability. And in the spirit of that, I had to ask a really important question. Why are dialogues like this, specifically with men, so damn rare?
I think men don't speak to each other about sex as comfortable as women.
Like women are like, yeah. So I set the room to 68. It was very crisp.
Right.
Shared pita chips. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
it's very detailed.
Yeah,
It's more shared.
It's like I came, I saw, I conquered.
I like to talk about sex a lot.
Yeah.
Especially with my friends. And I guess it's different for gay men.
Well, that's a fact.
It was really easy to get
You
me
took
here.
no convincing.
Yeah, I was like, all right, down.
Everybody else gave me the like, okay, so what's this video about, folks? And then after they agreed, they called again for follow-up questions to make sure.
I think it might be, maybe it's a paranoia, like if we speak, then we're never gonna get sex again. I think straight men, maybe we're scared, like Shannon's gonna tell all the girls and we're never gonna get it.
See, I think talking about sex between guys is typically very like braggadocious. Like it's just to say like, oh, I did this. But when you talk about like the details of sex, that's way more intimate.
Yeah.
And like that intimacy, most men, I find, get weirded out even talking about like the specifics of how a girl touched their cock.
Yeah.
Like you mentioned those details and everyone's just like, oh, I must be gay because I remember these details.
So how do you learn about new techniques, new things, new methods of orgasm, new methods of finding pleasure, if you're not having a focus group amongst yourself to talk about your bodies and the different ways you can find pleasure out of them? How do you discover new things?
I think it comes out like a joke. I mean, my friends and I always talk about oral sex, like, you know, getting head from a girl, and, you know, it was always kind of like a joke. We started out talking about like getting the twister blister, or getting the Olive Garden, getting the pepper grinder, you know? And it's like, it's a joke, but it's like, we're actually talking about something that's very pleasurable for us, you know? And it's like, we can't really, I think maybe us, we're like, that's our way of like saying like, yeah, that's the best way to get oral sex.
So after we got that out of the way, now it's time for the fun stuff. Orgasm. What's been your worst, your best, and your go-to?
I want communication in the bedroom. You know, because again, if I get them off and they enjoyed every moment of it, then that would make my orgasm a lot better. Because I've had terrible sexual experiences that, okay, I was hooking up with this one guy, and then he was just like, are you close? And immediately that question
Took away from you.
Yeah, and he was like, wait, am I supposed to be? And then I
Like,
went
are
into
you rushing me?
Yeah, and then I went into this whole like panic in my head, and then it got performance anxiety, and I was like, that's it. It's gone.
It's almost like you want all five senses to be in the moment. All five. Like,
absolutely.
I want to hear you. I want to feel you, taste you. Like, all of your senses are just like lit up. And like, even with what he just said, like, we're not rushing to get there. Like, when you can like really, what I've learned even with myself is like, breathing is a lot to do with it, because you find yourself like holding it like a lot of times because of what you're doing. So if you actually relax and breathe, you kind of center yourself and fall into the moment that you're in, and like it makes it so much better and it lasts longer. And so I think if you can somehow incorporate all five, and I want to hear you, like I think even with like masturbating, I've learned like I don't even have to visually see it or think it, like I could be listening to it.
Do you guys believe in foreplay? What are your thoughts on foreplay?
Of course.
It's the best.
Foreplay is amazing.
But I've learned, and if you're having, to me, like kissing and slowly taking your clothes off and like touching and all of this, because if you can have amazing foreplay for whatever 20-30 minutes before sex, your sex is now that much greater, I think.
Yeah,
For sure.
and it's like exploring each other's bodies.
Totally.
It's a very intimate act, and you know the best way to get to know someone is through having sex. And
This might be a special group though, because I talked to a lot of dudes who were like, I do it kind of like how I give a birthday hand job, like just like I'm supposed to, or like the Dream has a song like I could give a fuck about the foreplay. It's all about sex, and
But that's not the girl you love. That's not. That's different.
If
It's
you
not
want
safe.
really good sex, you do the foreplay. Because like I found that it's almost like I think girls get a little nastier after they have their first orgasm, you know. So even if they have any kind of reservation prior to that, like I don't want you to see my body, or I'm gonna keep my shirt on, or you know, the Winnie the Pooh style, like whatever it might be, like after you make the orgasm, I think there's just the comfortability, you know, just
I'm gagging.
shirt on, DuckTales, whatever, ooh, like whatever it may be. There's a comfortability that they feel like girls grow and they're down to just whatever after that. To the point, I don't know.
I'm screaming.
Killing it.
Foreplay is special. I think it gets lost. Like
Yeah.
people lose it now. And it's just like don't rush to like get there. Like I want to take your clothes off, take my clothes. Like I want to explore like
It's something very sexy about undressing each other,
Yeah.
kissing and stuff like that. But also like going back to your point earlier, like what makes a great orgasm. This is it. Like it's part of the show. If you're watching theater,
The ritual.
and you just see the main number, it's gonna be like, okay, that was not worth my money.
is there like a physical recipe? Like I like my balls pulled or held. I
Hold it,
also
right.
like pressure on the Mons area.
See, I feel like it's the opposite for guys. Well, at least for me, like for women, it might be here, but for me, it's like right under the balls. If you hold
the
it
gooch.
right
Ooh,
there,
yes.
right before you, like it's that right there. It's explosive.
To just piggyback on that, like the more my entire cock and balls, the whole area can get involved, like the way more intense it is. Because most of the time it's just a focus on like the dick itself, right? Even this like the head. It's like, but if I have a whole like organ down here that loves feeling like anything. So the more I can feel, the more intense it gets.
It depends. I mean, it can get me off a lot of ways. Nipple play is one of them.
You can come from just nipple play?
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Oh, you too?
I've come without touching myself. So like that.
Talent.
That's talent.
Talent.
But
I've seen people coming through like Kegels.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, whatever gets you off, gets you off.
So when you get a nipple orgasm, do you ejaculate?
Yeah.
Is there such thing as a bad orgasm?
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Bad way to get there, not a bad orgasm.
I've had like underwhelming orgasms.
Yeah.
Where it's like, you know, like, it's just like it's like it happens, but you're like, oh, like I've tried to prevent orgasm and not been able to actually stop it, and then the actual orgasm is like this really sad thing.
I know exactly what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
it's like, oh damn, I didn't want that to happen yet. So
Yeah.
you like don't indulge the
And you
feeling.
didn't fully commit to it.
Yeah.
So it's kind of
But
Yeah.
orgasm's like, no, I'm still coming through. You're not gonna stop.
Right,
Yeah.
you can hold it. Yeah.
It's like, am I early? Oh, sorry, y'all. My bad. I'll come back at 6. My bad.
When you say there's a bad way to get there, what does that mean?
I mean, I've had sex one time in particular, and I didn't want to, and so it almost felt like I was doing it to appease her, like to appease her. You know what I'm saying? So like, it's not that I don't like you or I didn't care. I was kind of over our relationship and over where we were, and then you jump on top of me and start doing this, like
Yeah, you're just saying like there's like an emotional disconnect there.
right. So
that's right.
physically,
That's
I still
right.
worked, but I was kind of like, and then when I was done, I was like, I really didn't want to do that, but okay.
Over 75% of men achieve orgasm regularly during sex, and that is in large part due to the fact that the penis is usually the main event. And while that is wonderful, there's also a darker side to that. Because of the fact that the penis takes up so much attention and there is so much focal point on that in the media and how we learn about sex, men don't often get encouraged to discover other parts of their body, other erogenous zones. So I asked this group, outside of their penis, where else brings them pleasure?
That is one of my main goals in 2019.
Do tell.
No, as a gay man, I love topping, and that's usually my go-to position in sex. And I wanna like bottoming, so it's one of those things that like I do like butt stuff and other things. Like I like nipple play and all this. Yeah.
I think life is so long, you can't do the same thing forever. So even whether you're spending it with one partner or you want to be single and do it with many, like you're bound to want to explore like more things.
Yeah, and I think there's like this big stigma around like any butthole pleasures with guys, straight guys in particular, being like, oh, well, are you sure you're not gay if you like your butt being touched?
Yeah.
But now I'm just like, well, I have explored that, and I am so willing to talk to any guy about it, because it's like, look, it's a whole new world that we didn't know about.
No pun intended.
Like, you're missing out if you're not playing. Like,
But you see that in shows and movies where like the doctors will stick her finger up a guy's butt and his climax is like euphoric.
Yeah, I think that for straight men who don't know anything about the nether region or the other region, I think that you're being ignorant. Honestly, I think you gotta experience life.
I mean, sex to me is like food. I mean, some people like their food to touch. Some people like their food separated. Some people like bitter melons. Some people don't. And I feel like there's so many varieties of food that will bring you joy and pleasure. And same thing with sex.
What's so fascinating about that is that in many ways, what we're saying is you need to get permission to explore your own body. Whether it's societal permission or permission from your partner.
And I hate that.
Like 5 years ago, you would have never heard me talk about my butthole at all.
It's a comfort thing, and it's also like a masculine feminine thing in society. Like people, like you're not gonna sit in a group of your homies or friends if you're not comfortable and be like, yo, yeah, like I let this happen in my butt, or like whatever, because then everybody turns and looks at you like, are you gay? Are you this? Are you that? Like it's a big thing. So then people keep hush, and either they're not gonna try it and stay in this lane so that they can meet the comfort of everybody else, or you're gonna step outside and be a little uncomfortable and either keep it to yourself or share it. So I think it's
masculinity is so weird to me. Like it's so private.
Have you guys ever found pleasure from like cleaning your ears out, like Q-tips?
Oh
yeah,
like sexual pleasure.
Yeah,
climactic.
like almost like it's like I mean not like it's like I don't know. I found like sometimes I'm cleaning my ears. I'm like shit. Like if I really focus, I think I could like kind of get aroused in a way, you know? Like it feels that good sometimes, and I'm like, yo, like there's somewhere there's a nerve that is directly from my ear to my dick, like easily. Like,
but that's like somebody whispering in your ear.
You know what's funny is I actually talked about Q-tips on this show once. Everyone was like, what? Because I am a big fan of combining sensations, right? Like, because if you're cleaning out your own ear with a Q-tip and you're getting head at the same time.
Oh my God, you just blew my mind.
Wow.
I got some fucking things to do.
What are some unexpected places, methods, techniques, ways that you have found pleasure? You don't have to try and top the Q-tip story. I mean,
Right, that's pretty hard to come after.
I really like it when I'm having making out or having sex at all, and someone just like pulls my hair, like not to like yank me somewhere, but just to like grab it. Like it adds to everything else and just makes it so much better.
Yeah, I guess those little tiny sensations like nipple play, or you know, like getting head while you're being nipple played is really sensational.
Oh, having somebody else jag me off. That was new for me because I'm very much in like being in control.
Yeah.
So that was like insane because it actually was like a better moment because I remember my feet almost like curling. Like,
Were they like an aficionado? Because I've heard a lot of men say they hate getting hand jobs because they're a pro. Like they know what to do
Yeah,
so
'cause we
perfectly.
know
So when someone else is down there, you're like,
We know, we know when like you're like trying to just, oh God, it's his birthday, let me jack him off real quick. Or it's like, I want to pleasure him right now,
I heard somebody say the other day, you can tell how much somebody cares about you by how they give you head or your hand job. Because guy or girl, whatever, how they give you head will let you know how they feel about you. Because when they don't care, like it's very, I'm doing it because it's part of the sexual act versus like,
It's very like, I
I'm
need
about
to
to
do this.
please my man. Like it's
You
very
know what's crazy
different.
about that? So true, because I was in a serious relationship and this girl would just not let me give her head.
so sex toys and men have a very complex relationship. From what I've gathered, either they're very comfortable and well versed, or they don't want to talk or touch them at all. And that has to change, because not only does it affect them and their opportunities to experience pleasure, but in many cases, it can affect their partner as well. So I thought the best way for us to really get to the root of why this wall is there is to talk about it. So I asked this group of men, what are their true feelings about sex toys in the bedroom?
Yes, I do like using toys. Well, at least for gay sex, I feel like it's like a precursor. It's part of the whole thing. Like they get prepped out and then loosen up, and then I'm the main event. Kind of guy, you know.
What are your go-tos?
There's like little plugs and stuff, dildos usually. Yeah. But I haven't done nipple clamps and stuff, which I really want to try to explore.
You definitely should.
Yeah.
There's actually one that's a pump, and it suctions your nipple in, into which your nipple gets like that much into it.
So I have like a vibrating plug that I used with someone last year, and like, just like experience, like using it on her and then getting to experience it myself at the same time was, it was like another mind-blowing thing. I was just like, what? This is why they're called toys.
Yeah.
Like I like never thought like we're playing with them together, like the same thing. Because I always have like thought of toys basically, unless it's like a fleshlight, to be girls' things.
Yeah.
Right. So, but like I just this week bought my current girlfriend a vibrator. So I was like, no, I want to have fun playing with her with this toy.
Yeah.
Right.
And if it happens to slide back on the gooch, so be it.
I actually gave one of my straight friends a vibrator. The little thing for it goes into your asshole and also has like the little nub to go
Fingers
in
for
your
your
gooch.
nuts.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
And it just
Yeah.
vibrates.
Yeah.
And I was like, you're welcome.
Why is there such a stigma around toys and male sexual play?
I think most guys only know of like fleshlight.
Yeah.
Like, you know, so I don't think that it's something
Have you
that.
even tried a fleshlight before?
Yeah, once. But
Try flashlight.
like-
I tried vibrating flashlights.
I just treat it as like, this is not something that I use. You know what I mean? And I always see like toys are just like even though this is for men, I'm like, no, I'm not that type of dude. You know, I'm not like I can
'cause
still
you don't
get
know,
girls. Like I've always felt like toys were like, man, like the mannequins and the blow ups for someone that
Right.
can't get like a partner. You know what I'm saying?
I totally second that. I've had that like narrative play through my head. Like there was so many times where I like wanted to buy a toy. I was like, no. Then I'm like more pathetic than I am for masturbating more. Like with it, like it's like I do it and like now I do like now I have a toy.
You're like, look at you, look
Yeah,
at
it's
you
like,
in the mirror.
oh yeah,
You
totally.
cunt.
Like, but that was like something I told myself, and now it's just like I can't believe I felt that way. But like, it's nice to know other people felt that way too. At least thought.
No, because that's how you're programmed. There's
Yeah.
a shame attached to
Yeah.
sex.
I think it's pretty apparent that this is a really special, self-aware group of men. And given the society that we currently exist in, I can only assume that their path to becoming the person they are today wasn't a linear or simple one. So I asked them, if you could go back in time and give yourself when you were 12 years old or 20 years old some straight up advice about sex in your body, what would you say?
I think you're younger, you're agile, like you're able to like do all these things. So I would tell them definitely like explore more. Like it's not just what you are taught in books or your mom and dad tell you, or you know, even what you watch on porn. Like there's so much because you restrict yourself. You watch a certain type of porn, you come from a certain family, and people tell you to do this and do that. So like you're already in a box. But if you choose to step outside of that, I think there's so, like, even hearing some of this stuff, it's like, damn, like, no, I gotta try that.
If I could tell myself something, it'd be, there's no shame in sex.
Yes.
There's no shame in pleasuring yourself. And you shouldn't feel ashamed of your body and what makes you feel good. And that's it. And then what he said, explore.
Yeah, I used to think, like, I would tell myself, be comfortable, because there's nothing to worry about. Like, if you're with someone and they don't take what you think or feel into consideration, then they're not the person for you, and it's nothing to do with you, right? But I've never even had someone go, or like if I tell them a preference or something I like, no one's been like, hell no, I'm not into that. Everyone's like so accommodating, and like, I'm there for them and they're there for me. Like, what else are we gonna do? And I think before I just didn't have that same like mentality. It's like, no, like I have to please them, otherwise they're gonna go fuck some other guy.
Like, I would say, like, don't go into it even thinking like I'm supposed to have sex right now. Just have a sexual experience. If it turns into sex, cool. If it doesn't turn into sex, that's all right too. Because I think when I was younger, I set expectations like, oh, okay, we're all alone, we're by ourselves, no parents. We're supposed to have sex right now. You know what I mean? Like, and you go into that like thinking the whole time like, all right, this is the first thing I'm supposed to do. This is the second thing I'm supposed to do. This is the third. You know, you have this list, and I think you can't admit to yourself like, hey, let's just please each other right now. You know, it's like it's like this. It's a masculinity thing. I think, you know, like I'm supposed to make her fucking come 6 times and then give her so much dick that she can't even walk tomorrow.
Yeah. No, but it's also like, you know, that junior high school age when you're a boy becoming a man, and then, you know, vis-a-vis a man it's a man masculine world. But like, I feel like we're increasingly becoming more high school. Like, the whole world became a cafeteria, especially Instagram, internet. Like, we're all like, oh, let's go to Popular Kids, you know. So now we have to fall in line. It's like, it's bullshit. We don't need to do anything. Just be you and just be brave, you know.
Gay men?
Yeah.
Did you say gay men instead of amen?
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest with you guys, this is the most fun I've had shooting a video in a very long time. That's largely in part to the fact that the dudes in this video I actually consider friends. As I said in the beginning, I had a really hard time casting this, so I had to go through my phone and find men that I knew were comfortable having these discussions in private with me, and I prayed that they would do it justice in public, and I really think that they did. So shout out to my homies. In the info box below, you can find some of their socials, and of course in the info box, you can find more information on the sponsor of this video, which is Lovers, and a link to their website, and then more information on how to utilize that promo code so that you can get your sex toy kit started, or you can get it boosted up. Wherever you're at, they definitely have something for you. But I'm glad that you were here on this video for me and for these men, but your job ain't done. You know, in the comment section, that's everyone's favorite part of any video, especially, you know, if this is a discussion that you haven't heard before. I want to hear what you thought about it, and if you are a man watching this video, chime in. You know, how do you experience pleasure? What are some unique ways that you have found pleasure? And what are some taboos you've had to overcome or are still working to overcome? It's a lot of questions. I'll put them in the info box too. All right.
Yeah, I used to think about you when I had no one to talk to. Hella bougie, kinda moody, bouncing when you walk through. And you used to get that Brazilian wax. Yeah, I put that on wax. Cell phone, pull it out the Zillion bag. How you getting stacks? Where they flying you? Where you flying to? Oh, I see you in the island. Mama call, but your cell phone always silent. You a pirate floating overseas for the diamond. Ain't surprising.